feel a little bit nervous tonight because I'm going to throw things at you, not actual things, but I'm just going to, I'm just going to do stuff and see what happens. So over the last few weeks, we've been hearing how we can connect to the historical Buddha, even though he died such a long time ago. And we've heard all the stories of the meetings he had with all those people, how significant it was to be in the presence of this blissful, the radiant, blissful, golden presence of this man. Animals, gods, men, women, young and old people, whoever met him were really strongly affected by him. And India is a big country, even though he walked a lot. He walked all his life teaching. You couldn't always be with him. And Bodhinaga told us how the Buddha had encouraged the practice of imagining him and to trust in our imagination. And that happened even in his own lifetime, to get over the problem of not always being able to be in his presence, using our imagination to connect. And I remember I was thinking about this, about growing up. If you grew up in the 70s, then, you hardly ever saw your music heroes. You just never saw them. If you caught them on the telly, on Top of the Pops, you sat glued to the telly with your eyes like that, because David Bowie wasn't going to be on ever again. You never knew. And they might be on next week if they were going up the charts. And for me, Joni Mitchell was never on the telly because she didn't release singles. So all I had was the album covers, the picture on the covers, and that was it. And they might be in the NME, or they might be in, what was the other one? Music. Melody Maker. But you never saw a moving image of your heroes. You just never saw it. It didn't happen. So you had your imagination, and that was it. And you had to, you'd listen with your ear pressed up against the speaker, imagining what they might look like. And when I actually saw Joni Mitchell, she didn't look like how I imagined her at all. So we've had very little passed down to us of what the Buddha actually looked like. So our imagination there is some stuff, and they tell us his skin was radiant and golden. It says he was very beautiful. He's a very beautiful man. But we need to learn to trust the effect of using our imagination. And the Buddhanussati practice allows us to fill our minds with these golden qualities of enlightenment, to connect with the qualities and allow them into our being and connect with him. And to allow his blessings to permeate into our heart and mind so that we can become more like him. It's quite a mysterious practice, and it can't really be explained in words, but it can be experienced. So then we heard about after his parinirvana, after his death, out of the deep meditation experiences of people later on, came another way to connect with the qualities of the Buddha. The Buddha became kind of like a prism, and shining the white light of enlightenment through the prism, all his various qualities got separated out into the rainbow of colors of the enlightened mind. The colors that emerge from the prism are associated with particular qualities, and in a way that we can kind of relate to. And the colors take form with different emblems and symbols, deeply mysterious symbols, inviting and open and beautiful. And we've looked at white and blue and red, and tonight we're going to look at green and goldy yellow, yellow gold, warm gold, yellow. So the forms that arrange themselves around those colors are made of light, and their names are associated with the qualities of the Buddha's enlightenment. But tonight I'm not going to really focus on the forms. I hear a lot of people tell me I can't imagine the human being, the person. So I'm just not going to really focus. That's why I'm kind of throwing stuff at you. I'm not going to really go through into detail about the form that these beings of light take. I'm just going to say some stuff about them and just see what happens. So tonight we have the fearlessness of the Buddha, the fearlessness of the deep green Tara, Vishva Vajra Tara, particular form of Tara, and Amoghasiddhi. and the generous warm gold of Marmaki and Ratnasambhava. So those two pairs go together, enlightened beings making up the colours of fearlessness and the wisdom of sameness, the wisdom of equality, equanimity. So there's too much to talk about in one talk, so I'm just going to pick out one aspect in the pair. So first, the green fearlessness of Amoghasiddhi and Tara. So Tara is just Tara. Tara takes many forms, and in this form, she's the one who is the pair, the prajna, the wisdom aspect of Amoghasiddhi, and that together they embody the fearlessness of the enlightened mind. So the Buddha was fearless because he had nothing to protect. No separate me in here to protect against the separate not me out there. So there was nothing to shore up and create an ego around. So no need for the push and pull to keep myself safe and push things away that are not going to be safe, keep me safe. None of that was necessary. So the Buddha was fearless. Now, the Buddha had a cousin called Devadatta, who was so jealous of him that he tried to kill him several times. And I imagine him a bit like Kato, you know, that the one leaping out from behind trees, like, hiya, kind of trying to get the Buddha. And he did, you know, he tried to kill him several times. But this one time was really terrible. And he did this really horrible thing, Devadatta. He got this lovely elephant and he got him drunk. He got the elephant drunk and kind of baited the elephant to make him angry. And he sent the elephant in the direction of the Buddha deliberately to kill him. So everybody in the village just scattered, everyone gone, and the Buddha's left there in the middle. So everyone in the village scattered, and they begged the Buddha to come and hide, to run away, but he wouldn't. So before he was enlightened, when he was an unenlightened bodhisattva, he told the story of when he was an unenlightened bodhisattva. Before the elephant story, he talked to his bhikkhus about when he'd gone into a terrifying haunted forest alone. And he realized that what he needed to do was not stop what he was doing, no matter how terrified he got. So he decided, this is the Fear and Dread Sutta. It's a really good one. It's worth looking up. So he didn't change what he was doing, even though he really, really wanted to run. He didn't. He just carried on. So now, years later, his life is actually in danger, and he practices this. So even though he could see the elephant charging towards him, can you imagine? He didn't run. He remained completely calm and composed and stood and faced the elephant and completely enveloped the elephant in love. He just sent every ounce of metta that he could muster to the elephant. And the elephant slowed down in front of him. He stopped in front of him, and so he stopped in front of the Buddha. The Buddha was sending him huge compassion for the suffering that the elephant was in from the drunkenness and from his anger. And the elephant stopped, knelt, and bowed in front of the Buddha. His madness cleared and his sanity was restored, and he gently nuzzled the Buddha with his trunk. And the Buddha stroked his trunk and spoke lovingly to him. So the Buddha was completely protected by metta, completely protected by love. And that is what a Buddha can do, because a Buddha is fearless. So the Buddha had sent a group of monks to meditate in a forest. The metta bhavana that we do is an antidote to fear. It came out of a group of bhikkhus who'd been sent into the forest to meditate by the Buddha, but they came back and said, we can't stay there because the spirits of the trees are tormenting us. So the Buddha sent them back in and said, meditate like this, and gave them the metta bhavana practice. And before long, their fear was gone, and the spirits were on side, and they were able to meditate there without any disturbance. So metta is an antidote to fear, and the metta bhavana is an antidote to fear. And I'm going to tell you, so for the examples of Amoghasiddhi and Tara, and for the other two, I'm going to tell you a little bit of like a personal story and something about the Buddha. And I'm going to tell you this not because I think I'm great or special, or that I can do anything that anyone in this room can't do. I had just practiced the metta bhavana, and I'd practiced diligently what I'd been taught for many years. And I'm telling you because I believe I was protected by metta in what happened to me on this day. And I think anyone can be. I've told this story once before, years and years ago, when I was still working in evolution. So I was standing in my garden, and there'd been a misunderstanding with someone who lived locally. And suddenly, here he was, a bit like the elephant, thundering down the path, glaring at me. Well, I stood there, and he made a beeline right for me, and he said, "If you were a man, I'd deck you." And he was really threatening, really angry, aggressive. You know, he was kind of poking me like this. Really, really angry and upset. And I did not feel at all scared. I just didn't. When I looked into his face, all I could see was his suffering. And as he was shouting about all the things I'd done wrong, I thought, oh God, you're just, all I saw was that. And what he was trying to do was protect his family. He got it wrong, but that's what he thought he was doing. So I answered calmly and said something kind. I can't remember exactly what. And Auntie Katie, who was before she was ordained, was standing with her phone on speed dial to the police. She was about to call the police because she thought I was in danger. But he just stopped shouting, and he said, "Oh, that's a lovely little cat," and kind of knelt down and started stroking the cat, and all was well. And he apologized and explained a bit more about what had been happening for him. And whenever I saw him, he was friendly after that. But the thing about it was that it was like, it's so hard to describe, but you've probably had examples like this, but I felt completely protected by metta. I didn't feel at all scared, and I didn't actually do anything. It was like it happened without me. You know what I mean? It happened anyway. I didn't do anything. I think it was the metta bhavana that I'd been practicing for years made that happen. It wasn't personal. Do you know what I mean? It was nothing to do with me. It was metta that did it. Usually we're operating from the big mistake of the separate self that we need to protect, that needs to keep safe by pushing away threat and responding to threat with pushing. When we're completely integrated, obviously I'm not, that's enlightenment, and you're fearless all the time. But we do get glimpses of that. And I think that was a glimpse, a little 30-second glimpse of what it must be like. Didn't last long, obviously, but it does give a glimpse of what it must be like with nothing to protect and nothing to push away. You're not there in a way, there's just metta. And the Vishva Vajra is a symbol of this. So 2 lucky people got the Vishva Vajra. I just had 2 spare ones, so I put them out. So Imogen's got one there. And I don't know your name, sorry. David's got one there. So that's the Vishva Vajra. You can see, I'm not going to describe it. If you want to know more about it, find one and have a look at it. There's some in the bookshop. It's total integration of the Vajra. The Vajra, which stands for absolute truth, which stands for reality, and they're completely integrated. So this is the nature of reality. No separation, nothing to protect. And Amoghasiddhi and Tara, in this form, both carry the Vishva Vajra. This is the symbol of absolute integration, absolute fearlessness. And in that picture there, painted by Siha Badar, she's holding the Vishva Vajra. Thanks, Mel. Tara's raised hand, she has her hand raised like this, says that she is protected by and protects the 3 jewels. She holds the double Vajra, sometimes in her hand, sometimes on a lotus on her shoulder. And when we're stuck in fear, we can forget to rely on metta. And Tara will remind us, Tara will come, and Tara's superpower is to protect us against fear. And she's most famous, this particular Tara, and other Taras too, are most famous for bringing us back to love. So she protects us from the 8 great terrors. Look them up, very interesting. The 8 great terrors of unskillful mental states that are arising out of fear. And she protects us from that. So we can contact Tara when we're frightened. And practicing metta, of course, self-metta, is one of the ways. And we can just call her name. We don't actually have to chant Tara's mantra, although we will do a bit later. We just call her name, Tara, and she comes. Wake you up. And she's with us. She's called the Swift One. She's the Swift One. And she comes immediately. And she will help us to act from metta. A mantra is, the meaning of the word mantra is that which protects the mind. So if you're chanting a mantra, you haven't got time to be frightened, is the idea. And it's a practice to chant a mantra and stay with the mantra, because I don't know about you, I can chant a mantra and have a whole other story going on at the same time over here. So it's kind of quite important to bring your mind back and stay focused on the mantra. But we are going to do that. So when we feel in the grip of fear, we can call on Tara. We don't even need the mantra. And she will instantly be at our back to protect us with metta. So Amoga Siddhi, her partner in wonderfulness, is his raised hand. So it's this hand that he raises. And it's just saying stop. Or is it? Whatever you think it's saying. The Abhaya Mudra. Abhaya Mala, our lovely friend Abhaya Mala, her name means garland of fearlessness. Now, for those of you of a nervous disposition, or those of you who don't like or are upset by or whatever loud noises, I would urge you to gird your loins and put your fingers in your ears, because Mel is going to come up again. The Shang birds are mythical creatures, half man, half bird. Not yet. Mythical creatures, half man, half bird, and they fly through the midnight sky, and they pull Amoga Siddhi on a chariot of a double vajra, on a deep green lotus, and he flies through the midnight sky, through the forests. And when you hear the forest rushing, at night when it's rushing, it's Amoga Siddhi rushing through the sky. He's the Buddha of action. He's the Buddha of unstoppable success. So his swift action will come in moments of fear. There are times when you've just got to have something big and strong and powerful. And go on then, Mel's going to do it now. So if you need to close your ears, okay, off you go. And that's what Amoga Siddhi sounds like, flying through the sky. The Shang birds are, in fact, there's 2 sets of them, because they've both got a set of symbols each, and they're flying through the sky. So he's the one who's unstoppable and acts fast. He's the Buddha of unstoppable action, unstoppable success. And there was a time when, to get to work when I lived in London, I had no choice unless I wanted another half an hour in my journey. I had to cycle past a skip full of rats. And you know how much I love rats. And I used to do that, chanting the mantra at the top of my voice, imagining the Shang birds and imagining Amoga Siddhi. It was the only way I could get by, and it worked. So we're just going to practice the mudras. We're not going to sit and meditate so much, but in meditation posture would be a good idea. So the mudras are the hand gestures. Now we know now through the kind of gains in and knowledge in neuroscience that we know that how we hold our body affects our mind. We know that now. You know, there's that thing, isn't there, when if you're going into a scary meeting, you stand like this for 10 minutes before you go in and it affects your mind. We know that if you smile for 2 minutes, not make your face smile for 2 minutes, when you finish the 2 minutes, your mood will be completely different. We know that. Mudra is the same. Holding your hand in a certain way and connecting with a color or connecting with a mantra has an effect on the mind. So we're going to practice the mudras for both. So first of all, we've got Vishva Vajra Tara, green Tara, and she's got a ring finger and her thumb together like this. And in her right hand, she's holding the Vishva Vajra, the double Vajra in this hand. So we can just kind of, we're not going to sit for very long, but you can close your eyes if you want to. You don't have to. And I'm going to chant Tara's mantra. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Swaha. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Swaha. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Swaha. And green, deep green of the forest. Sometimes the green of the spring leaves in the trees when you look up and the blue skies behind them. So holding the Vishva Vajra in your right hand. Okay, so that's green Tara. And then the right hand is the Abhaya Mudra. And you can, sometimes you see it like that, really stretched out. Sometimes you just see it like that, whichever feels right for you. This is the Abhaya Mudra. And the left hand holds the Vishva Vajra. And it's always with the point up. We've got Om Amog, and I'm going to do it the way my preceptor Kalyana Shri's Yidam is Amoga Siddhi, and she taught me this one, which Sanghagita taught her. So the note goes a little bit lower than the one you might have heard. Om Amoga Siddhi Ahom, Om Amoga Siddhi Ahom, Om Amoga Siddhi Ahom. And with that mudra, and with the hand, we don't have to, there's nothing you're supposed to be feeling. There's nothing that you're supposed to be doing. It's just, we're just trying stuff. There's no right answer. Okay. So that's Amoga Siddhi and green Tara. Yeah. So now the wisdom of equality. So now we've got the warm earth. Imagine, and again, we're imagining. We have to do this. We have to use our imagination. However you do that, if it's words, you can say the words warmth, midday sun, golden earth, cornfield, however it is, however you do it, or imagine under the midday sun. So it's warm, it's summer. That's where we're going now. So how did the Buddha himself demonstrate the wisdom of equality, the wisdom of sameness? Well, the Buddha taught murderers, kings, peasants, high caste priests, servants, courtesans, lepers, sick people. He did not hold anything back. He was completely equal in his giving. His open hand treated everyone the same. See, an enlightened mind, the Buddha's enlightened mind, will always respond to an unenlightened person with compassion because of the inherent suffering in not being enlightened. So wherever the Buddha went, he was just coming to people with metta, and what came was compassion. It just did, because he was with people who weren't enlightened, and that's suffering. Well, yeah, so whoever they were. He had his special friends, of course, but he was kind and wise with everyone. And I can't say I haven't got a personal experience of this, because I can't do it. But I saw someone who did, and that was my teacher, Sanghagita. I met him 7 or 8 times, maybe more. I've been trying to think where I met him. And every time I met him, he had the same steady kindness, which wasn't always comfortable because he was so unusual, so unusual. He never stopped meeting people and teaching, no matter how his preference might have been right up until the end. There was a period when he was very poorly, when he did withdraw a little bit. But when he came out of that, he went straight back into meeting people. He would have rather have been a scholar and a poet. That's where he really wanted to be. But he wasn't. He said himself he was not the right person to start a movement, in his opinion. That was what he said about himself. But there was no one else. And the need was so great. He gave his life for the service of other people and for the Dharma, when he would actually probably have preferred poetry and music and art. He was an artist, really, at heart. And at Taraloka, he was dedicating the Tara cabin. And I watched him, and he had a baby bouncing on his knee 1 minute. I think it was Alex, Leela Matty's baby, son. I think it was him. Parami, very important senior order member, exactly, not bouncing on his knee. But, lovely with her, lovely with all the mitras who were there, with the people who weren't Buddhists, with the Rupa of Green Tara that he was dedicating in the cabin. He was the same. It's really hard to put into words what it was like to watch him. And I watched him being pushed in a wheelchair around, circumambulating a Rupa of Padmasambhava. And I looked at him and I thought, that's my teacher. He was amazing. I met him in Holland, and the group of people he was with caught a bug, a really nasty, painful, vomiting bug. And he got it as well. And my friend who was staying with said he was so kind and grateful to her, even though he was really ill. He never complained, though the others did. And his attitude towards her didn't waver the whole time he was there, whether he was sick or well. And this is Ratnasambhava's open hand. Ratnasambhava, he's there, but we're not looking at the forms. We're thinking of the qualities and things associated. So his wisdom of sameness, his steady earth grounded sameness, that the sun shines on all beings. His thing is the midday sun. His thing is the earth. And the Chintamani. So the Chintamani is held by Ratnasambhava and his Pranya Marmaki. And that is so the Chintamani is the wish-fulfilling jewel. And when you've got any sense, when you know what you should want, what you want is the arising of the bodhicitta. So the Chintamani is associated with the arising of the bodhicitta. So he holds this jewel, the wisdom that shines on all beings like the sun, and it flashes different colors. And so no matter, so he has the Chintamani is the wish-fulfilling jewel that means that he has more of everything than he knows what to do with. He has more love than he knows what to do with. I'm different with different people depending on all kinds of things, but Ratnasambhava isn't. Ratnasambhava is the same with everybody because he has all he needs and more besides. Thank you. So this is about comparing, loving everyone, everything the same. How do we compare others and how do we compare ourselves? We rank people, don't we? I like you, I don't like you, I don't care about you. We're different with different people depending on where they fit in the ranking. We do, I do, I know we do it. And this is why we have the Metabhavana in the stages that we have. So we have people in the Metabhavana that we like, that we don't care about. And at the end of the fourth stage, when we get all our people together, that's Ratnasambhava's wisdom of sameness. When we get them all together and we try and be the same with each one, that's Ratnasambhava and Marmaki. We'll talk about her in a minute. But this pair is about, at the end of the fourth stage, when we've got all those people together, that's the wisdom of sameness, when we're treating everybody the same. So we're all sitting in the sun of Ratnasambhava's gaze, in a sunny field, grounded. Okay, so this will be a challenge. Have a little listen. We'll see how long that will take to happen. Might take a while. So Ratnasambhava's midday sun, his warm smile, an open hand with a sparkling jewel, flashing colours. You're welcome, and everyone is welcome in Ratnasambhava's realm, all love the same. Marmaki is the wisdom aspect of this wisdom of sameness. So we have the masculine. Well, I'm not going to talk about the people. Okay, so everything is all, but it is feminine, this one. Everything is already hers. She's known as the mine maker, meaning mine as in not yours, meaning everything is hers. Everything belongs to hers. She doesn't need anything from outside because there is no inside or outside for Marmaki. Everything belongs to her anyway. So she also has the wisdom of sameness. We belong to her and she loves us all the same. There's nothing that you want to change because everything is exactly where and how it needs to be, because you have more than enough, because she holds the Chintamani. You're not going to get to hear a horse snuffling, I don't think. She's earthed and grounded in the warmth of, so we are earthed and grounded in the warmth of Marmaki's golden yellow light. And we sit, but unfortunately we don't listen to. It's a lovely field with birds singing and a horse going. So perhaps you can just imagine that. It doesn't matter. I've got to finish in a minute anyway. So just that's the, again, haha. It's deliberate that you haven't got it. I did it on purpose. You have to imagine it. So you have to use your imagination to sit in a field of corn with the midday sun and Marmaki and Ratnasambhava on their thrones in front of you with their glittering jewels. That's everything, wasn't it? Yeah, their glittering jewels of having everything they need. So we can practice their mudras. So Marmaki is sometimes depicted with the jewel and she's sometimes not. She has different depictions. So let's have her with the jewel. So Ratnasambhava's right hand is extended out because he has everything he needs and can give away everything he has to us. So he's giving to us because he has everything he needs. And his left hand is holding the jewel in the level palm. So the jewel is here in his left hand. So he has everything he needs and he just gives everything away. And everything is the same because everything is love. And his mantra is Om Ratnasambhava Trang, Om Ratnasambhava Trang, Om Ratnasambhava Trang. It's kind of really, ooh, it's great, isn't it? So that's Ratnasambhava. Marmaki is the same. She also has the right hand extended out. But usually what you find is that Marmaki has the jewel in her hand. But sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here, sometimes she's holding a lotus. So let's have her having the jewel in her hand as well. So you can imagine the jewel in her hand and you can imagine her holding her hand in. So we'll have her holding the lotus on which is a Vajra bell. So she has the jewel in her right hand as well. And she's holding a stem of a lotus, and in the lotus is a Vajra bell. So her mantra is Om Ratne Suratne Mam Swaha. Om Ratne Suratne Mam Swaha. Om Ratne Suratne Mam Swaha. And you'll notice the Ratne in the mantra, the Ratna for the jewel. So we have everything that we will ever need. So we don't need to rank people. We don't need to put ourselves on up here, on the same or down. We have colour and mantra and holding our bodies in certain ways that can set up different ways of approaching our practice for fun. Let's just do it for fun, just for a bit of a laugh. Let's just have a little go at using our imagination. Just to not, we don't necessarily, although some people really love the human form, it doesn't have to be. Don't have to have a human form. Just let's have the colour and the shapes. If you're still exploring it, that's fine too. It's either in here or it's out there, doesn't matter. So the green of the forest or the warmth of a field of corn, it will have an effect. Might do, might not. But just let's have a little, a mess about and a play with all of those things that we could try and get in touch with the golden qualities of Shakyamuni Buddha. That's it. Thank you. I am going to tell everyone. Can I tell everyone, Rita? Rita's, we're having an Order Mitra. This is a good reason to become a Mitra. On next Order Mitra morning, we're having Rita is creating, we've commissioned a painting of Marmaki. So the centre will have a brand new, hot off the press, painting of Marmaki that Rita's in the middle of doing.